Well, welcome to Anchor of Grace. My name is Johnny Fowler, and today's training is going to be how to use Windows 11 multiple desktop function, which is brand new, with OpenLP to basically increase the features that you have capable of. And it's in course number OpenLP 110. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the overhead. And as you can see, we're going to be talking about multiple desktop with OpenLP. And what we're going to do is we're going to be running OpenLP in the first desktop. We could rename it and call it OpenLP. And then we're going to put the stage view that the singers are going to see in the second view. And then we're going to put the chords view for the band in the other monitor. So this is what we're going to be setting up and using the multi-desktops to make sure everything's working right. Okay? So let's go to the next one. So the first thing we need to do is open a song so that we can put it out there so we can see the chords and the lyrics. So I am going to switch down here to OpenLP, and I am going to put Amazing Grace in there and put the first one in there. And so we have the first set of music in there for right now. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have to check and see and make sure what IP address that we want to use. So, and what IP address of this server, OpenLP server, is on our LAN. By the way, I have disconnected from the World Wide Web. I am not connected out there right now. I'm only on the OpenLP LAN. Okay, so I'm going to minimize OpenLP, and I am going to type CMD so I can get a command prompt. And so I get a command prompt. And I'm going to type IP CONFIG, IP config, and hit enter. And as you can see, I really don't have another connection that's being used right now. This connection is not hooked up and is not going out there. It has no gateway. The one I'm using is the wireless LAN Wi-Fi, which we set up for OpenLP, and it's the address right here of my computer that the geek is using here in the booth. And this is going to be the server IP, which is going to be talking throughout the church so that people can set up their different devices. Okay, so we have 192.0.15. So I copy that with a Control C. Now let's go and bring back up our OpenLP. And here's our OpenLP and the song, and I've selected the first verse in there on the song. And let me show you what the overhead looks like. This is the overhead you're seeing right now, and I can switch it back to the laptop and play the instrumentation in the background if I want to. Switch it back overhead, and that's the intro playing right now. So it will start now. Amazing Grace, and you know how it goes. I love it. So I'm going to stop it. Okay, now I'm going to take you back to the laptop. And as you can see, we've got Amazing Grace here. And so what we're wanting to see is what's on the monitor for the singers. Okay, and they've set theirs up to the IP and port so they can see it from here. So what I need to do is I need another desktop. So I'm going to set me a new desktop, and I'm going to rename this one, and I'm going to call it Stage. That's where they're set up at. And I'm going to open Chrome, and I'm going to go to the address 192.168. Let me type it in again. I just saved it, so I'm going to type in HTTP colon Control V. That's what I had for my the 15 on the end was the IP for my server. Now I want to go out on port 4316, so I put a colon 4316 and put a slash, and I hit enter, and it brings up the service screen. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the service menu, and what I'm wanting to see is what's on the stage view for the singers. And there you go. Right now the song that is there is this one. If I look at the overhead, sure enough, that's what you've got, and that's what the team down front is seeing on their monitor. And if I go and back, so that's what they're seeing on their monitor. Now to make it clear, what I normally would do is push F11 here, and it makes it full screen. So that's really cool. So now I can go back. Here's OpenLP, and the next thing I want to do is set up a desktop so that my band can see the chords. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to make a new desktop. Whoops, I got to get over there to new desktop. There you go, new desktop, and I'm going to call this chords. So this is what the band is going to see. So I go to this desktop, and again open the browser, and this time I'm going to HTTP colon and slash and put the IP in there, and I'm actually going to type chords in there. CHORDS. Okay. Whoops, it tells me it can't be reached, so let's try it again. I want to go to HTTP colon slash then 15 and slash chords. See, sometimes it doesn't come up because there's a conflict, and I have HTTP is too sensitive. HTTPS of this browser is too sensitive. So what do I do? My goodness. So now let me show you what I will do. I will close that down, and I've already got one here and it's not working. And if I check my previous screen, it's working there, but it's not working here. I've got a conflict again, and this happens a lot with some of the browsers. So in one of the workarounds, I'm going to close this one out while I'm in the view right now. I'm in is in the chords view. That's the one I'm in, chords view. And I am going to start up my this is a second way, a workaround. I'm going to open up, and I'm going to use the Google Chrome with Legacy Win 7 this time. Okay, and I clicked it twice. I hope it doesn't try to open twice. Let's see here. Did I open it twice? Nope, I didn't open it twice. It's just used once here. And this time I type in HTTP and colon and 4316, and it came up. So I talked about a workaround in OpenLP 109. That's one of the workarounds, so you can get better results using HTTP instead of HTTPS. But I am wanting to go, and on this one I want to set it up for the chords view there. Now I'm going to hit F10 and make it F11 actually, and make it full screen. So I have full screen for what's going out to the chords, full screen of what's going out to the singers, and this is what my overhead is seeing. Okay, so let's see here. This is what the singers are seeing, and this is what the band is seeing. I hope that's not too confusing. So this has been a real quick seminar on how you can use and have multiple layouts. There's one more I want to show you, which is not in the normal lesson, but I'm going to go back to my laptop, and I'm going to make one more desktop just to show you what's going on. And I'm going to make a new one, and I'm going to call this main, which will this one will show what's on the main display. Okay, so let's go back to main. I just made it. See, it's under Windows. There you have your multiple windows. Oops. Main. Okay, and now I am going to open up browser again. We'll try to Google Chrome and see if I get a conflict this time. And I'm going to type in http://192.168.0.15:4316 service. That's right. Okay, so bring that up. This time it worked. See what I'm talking about? That's one of the problems with the new browsers. But anyway, so what I'm wanting this time is I want the main view. So now I see, doing F11, I see what they're seeing on the main viewers in the sanctuary, which is right here. Let me show you. But the sanctuary has a motion. On the ones going out on the internet to the different rooms, it won't have the motion in the background, but it will still have all of this information there and the music and what's going on. That's important. Okay, so we have to go back then to you're going to say, well, how in the world did you change all that and switch them? Well, it's easy for me. I have OBS and I have a switcher that I push the buttons and it moves back and forth. But you need a way to switch to the windows. So we're going to go through the actual training, and I'm going to walk you through the commands that you do that with. So we go back to our training, and we've already got this set up and we showed you how it works. Let's go back to the overhead. So here, this is my overhead projector, and that's with the first song out there. Okay, so if I go to my next one, in Windows search box, I went and typed in ipconfig, and then I go to the next one. I found out mine's 15, actually, the one I'm using right now, and I locate it. There is the one for wireless LAN, and mine's 15 that I'm using right now, and I copy that. I copy that right there. Okay, and then I go to the next screen. Now, I got to make sure, first of all, before I continue on, if this would have been changed to 15, because that's what I'm using. So I went back to my OpenLP. I would have went to Settings, Configure, OpenLP Remote, and Remote Interface. And then I would have set the settings to 15. So if it's go okay as is, just leave it alone, you go on. And then if not, then you would have changed it. And what would have happened then, let's see here. If you'd have changed it, then you would have changed it to get the new stuff, because you're going to have to set it up in the next one. You would have closed OpenLP and opened it again. We've talked about in the previous one. To get the IP to change in the configuration in OpenLP, when you've changed it, you have to close it and reopen it. That's very, very important. Now, so now what we want to do is we want to make a new desktop. So I'm going to go down and take you back to my laptop, and we're going to do this again, but I'm going to take you over my laptop, and I am going here, and there's my laptop, and I am going to open the stage view I've got right now, and I'm going to do an F11. I'm going to close everything I just previously set up, and I was showing you at the very start. I go to the next one. I'm going to close an F11. Let's see here. Click on it. Do an F11 and close it, and then go to the next one. And okay, so let's see here. Where am I at now? Oh, and then there's got one more here to close. F11 and close that one. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this is the window I'm in right now, and if you check my windows, I've closed them all out again. I still have the stage and the chord ones, and let me close this out of here too, just so I don't have anything in those windows. So I sort of cleared them all out, and I showed you how to make new ones. So I've made one for stage, one for chords, and one for main, and these stay there unless you delete them and remake them, and I just remade them when we started out. But so now what I want to do is, how do I get to the stage view without a button to push to take me there? So let's go back to OpenLP. So if you're in OpenLP, you press the Windows and the Tab key, and it'll open up the Windows key and the Tab key, and it will open up, as you can see, all of the different things that we had. Now I've already done a command prompt check. I really don't need that one anymore. I've got OpenLP running in this one, but I want the stage view. See? Do you see what I did? I pushed the, let me push it again. It's a tab, and it tabs back and forth between the view that you're going to. Let me go back to here. There's OpenLP. I can Alt tab and I can select a new one. Okay? Or I can select this one. If I select that one, I open up to that. I can do Alt, I can do the Windows tab key, then I can select stage. Now, we can do like we did before. I can open a browser, and this one's coming up, and I want it to pick out that's the IP that we had before. I entered that, okay, and I can say give me a stage view. Well, that's what I've got right now because I am actually in the training, okay, but if I'd have had the music would have been there. Okay, so, and as you can see, you can do it back and forth. Now I want to give you some important things to look at. I'm showing you how to do this and how to drop them in, and if you do an Alt tab, you see I put that one in there, and I've got the view, and I can add the other views in there like I did previously at the very beginning. Okay, now when you're switching between the things, I'm going to purposely go back to my OpenLP, and I'm going purposely back to my overhead. So here's the way you do, and I'm actually going to show you. You press Windows tab key. It's a toggle. It will bring this up, and if you toggle it again with Windows tab, it'll go away and go back to the one that you have selected. Now you can left click in here and make a new desktop. Okay, you can rename it by right clicking on it and changing it to stage. You can right click on this other new one you make and call it chords, and this is using the Windows tab key to open and make these up. Okay, and so and then you can press the Windows tab key for multiple display window again, and you can left click the stage display to select it, and then you open a browser. In my case, you entered IP15/stage, and the stage view will appear with the first verse like we showed, and you press F11 to make it display the full screen. So, and I'm going to go to the next one. Chord view, same thing. Windows tab, left click chords, the one you made for chords, open a browser, drop it in there. The chords view will appear in the first, highlight it, and press F11 to make it go full screen. And then you can toggle OpenLP Server Monitor using Windows tab key to display OpenLP application. So to switch between these different ones, you can either use Control Tab. I'm going to show you in a second here. Let's see here. Whoops. Let's go here. I'm going to switch back over to my monitor. Okay. Now you can use Control Tab to switch and bring them up. and you see I have a stage view down there. Or you can do Control and the window key, and then you can use the right arrow key to switch to the other multiple displays. Control and Windows, and then use the right and left arrow key to switch. That's an easy way to do it. You can switch between them. So I'm going to go back and set these up, and follow me as I go through here. Well, I'm going to use Control Tab, and I'm going to go in here. Let me go back to, I'm going to put the music out there again so we can see what's going on. So I'm going to use Control Window key left, and I'm going to here, and I'm going to put the music back out there, and I'm going to go back to the first verse. Now, okay, so I'm going to use Control Window key and then go right arrow. There it is. Now, I Control Window key right arrow, and let's see. Oh, I don't have any out there, so I open a browser. I type in http://192.168.0.15:4316 service, and it comes up. And on this one, I'm wanting the chord view. Okay, so, and I put F11. So I take the Control Windows key and I go back. There's that one, and go back to here, and that's my OpenLP. Go to the right. I'm on the one for the singers. I click up here, and I can push F11 to give it full screen. So that's what they'll see now. I push Control Window key right. This is the one for the band. Okay, and now I want to make another one. So I push Control Windows key and right. I have a new window here, and if you can see it here, there's the one I have for main. That's the one I'm in right now. It's highlighted down here. And so I do the same thing again. I open a browser. I type in http://192.168.0.15 : that was dots, but it'll be 4316, and then slash, and that will bring me up my service one. So I can hit here and switch to service and put my main view here, and then click over here and do F11. Okay, so now, so this one is showing you what's on my main view. Oh, that's sort of strange, isn't it? So let's go back here. Let's go, because this, I just brought this up after I put that view up there. So I'm going to do Control Windows key left, 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 and I am here. I click this one, make sure it's up. I'm going to click it here, test it. Okay, and now if I check my overhead, that's what I got up on my overhead. Okay, now go back to my laptop. Now I'm going to Control Window key, right click to the one that's going to the singers, right click, and I get right arrow, and I get the one, not right click, right arrow, and I get the one that's going to the band, right click, and I get the one that's going to main without the background. That's what they're seeing throughout the church. Again, Control arrow key left arrow takes me back to the band. Control arrow key left arrow, Control window key left arrow, and it gives me my singers. Control Windows key left arrow, and it takes me back to OpenLP. I hope I wasn't confusing. Once you get in there and you start using it, I'm sure you're going to love it, and you can set it up in your geek office, and then you can go out and help them set it up too by putting in the right IP port, and whether they want service, whether they want chords, whether they want main, and whether they want the stage view, which is for the singers. And on your overhead, of course, it's going to be coming out beautiful, and it will sound great, and you can switch between the different verses as you go along. Well, isn't that great? Amazing grace. That's what it is. Okay. Well, I'm going to take you back to our training lesson here and switch you here and on the overhead. This has been multiple desktops with Windows 11, OpenLP 110. Give me a ring or contact me by email and just let me know what you think. And I pray the Lord just bless you today and that everything work out great for you. In the precious name of Jesus. Amen. See y'all now. Goodbye.